Tasha, and this is Ascension Dark Divine Fairy Tale. I hope you guys enjoy watching. Remember, we are all starring in our own film, right? We are all stars. We are writers, directors, editors, boom operators, craft on our own set of our own lives, starring in our own film. Okay, I hope y'all love the new intro because I do, and I know somebody's going to steal it. But anyway, enjoy the video. Like, comment, share, send me a DM. Hey, hi, I am Akasha, and this is Ascension Dark Divine Fairy Tale. I essentially talk about love and quantum physics. Okay, so I wasn't going to do this tonight, but I've gotten 6 questions since I posted my last video, and while I always welcome questions, of course, that's why I'm doing this. Again, what is my goal? If I can even help just one person not feel alone and or crazy and understood. So for me, by my rhetoric, I'm not the only one, by the way. Understood is not a good thing. You want to be inner and overstood. So anyway, this is why I'm here. So again, I welcome questions for sure. However, this one question and or assumption is starting to get a little aggy. But I'm still glad for it because it's letting me know that I'm missing my mark, which is great because what you want is feedback. So I'm aggy at myself, not at the people or the question. And again, one of these comments came from the friend who inspired me to make my last video. Anyway, so apparently there is this assumption that I am making these, or I started this journey with this channel because I'm unhealed in the sense of this the situation with Devlin. And again, Devlin is the name of my past partner, and I wrote a script about her life. I'm gonna catch y'all up really quick in case no one saw my other videos. I did get a lot more views on those, but I was way more consistent, so I decided I'm going to repost those over the next 2 weeks and then start posting new ones because it was like a year ago. Anyway, so Devlin is my person that I was with, and basically through everything that happened in my life up until Devlin the and including my situation with him got me to this point where it was just kind of all life changing for me, and I started to see things more broad and got to this point, and I started writing about he and I when I was still living with him. I when I met him, I was writing on my first story about my life, which was called Like a Geisha. And anyway, I got inspired by this idea to write my stories. My instead of writing one book, to write my book and tell my story in. Oh my gosh! Instead of writing a book, I thought of writing about my life in a series of stories. While I was inspired by two things, which was watching Spartacus, which I had Devlin watch in when I first moved in, and like we really enjoyed it, and it was kind of cool. And then watching reruns of Little House on the Prairie while actually living on Walnut Grove here in Georgia. Anyway, true story. So anyhow, so this is where all this is coming from for y'all who don't know. And so in a sense, it is cathartic, if you will, and it is a part of my healing. And I don't even like to use that word healing. I'm even past that now. It's but upon my even dealing with this, and I had told him this before a few times back in 2022 when he and I were what we were doing. And anyway, I had told him this before, but I always ended my apology in what happened with us, which I can tell he was even confused, kind of like, "What'd you apologize for?" You know, it's because my working on myself and dealing with myself. Again, I came to enter and understand how no, I didn't abuse him the way that I was abused, but at the same time, I allowed him to be my abuser. I started to see at some point we allow people to mistreat us because somewhere deep inside we think that we are deserving of it. And I'm saying that very vague right now because I want to get to my point. Okay, it's kind of late. Um, I didn't know in my knowing mind that that's what I was doing. I didn't know that in my knowing mind that's what I was allowing, and I was tolerating that. But that's 50% of what it was. The other 50% is because I was addicted to him, and I was addicted to our situation when someone abuses you and they, after the love bombing phase, you do the whole thing, and there's so many memes about it, and I'm gonna post. Gosh, it's so hard to go back and add these in here, but I am gonna post this meme, and I see them all the time. Where, basically, in short, you guys are just all over each other. You guys are vomiting love all over each other. Again, I think I talked about this in my last video, and then that person pulls away, and you feel like, oh my God, what did I do? So then you start throwing more love and throwing more love, and then you're teaching them, oh, I can do this. No, I can treat this person like anything. I do less, and I get more. Well, when someone has an NPD and again may be autistic, they they act out. Ugh, I'm getting ahead of my point, but in short, what I'm saying is, yes, he was abusive, and at some point in a in a in a different situation, you would go, but there's an addiction that happens, and that happened with he and I was literally addicted to him. And from that, again, not only did I know what it's like to be addicted to a human, I have come to again enter and understand addiction within itself, which is I understand why that even happened to me, because I was always so harsh on people who suffered from addiction. So much so, my advisor told me when I got my first degree, my A in mental health, wasn't my first degree, but was my first degree in mental health, that the internship that I had gotten offered was bad for me because it was an addiction. So, for y'all who don't know, some of the, my lord, entry level positions in mental health may be things like working as an intake specialist, oftentimes in addiction. So anyway, my point. So all these lessons came and knowledge came and then all this other stuff came with my situation with Devlin, but one of them was responsibility in my part. In what I believe in, I cannot harbor anything like that. And is it hard? Absolutely. I even had someone else that I'm a friend to told me a couple of nights ago when I was on the highway coming back over here to Atlanta. I had said something and he was like, don't do that. You're saying never. It had nothing to do with this, but I was saying never on something. Though because of him, I was saying never. Because of him, meaning Devlin. He was like, don't do that. You can't close yourself off from nothing but, in short, BS and anything that doesn't align with you. But other than that, let it go. So, this is getting me to my point. Number one, this has nothing to do with me not getting over Devlin. This is about understanding that we all choose our life and our battles. Me, him, and everyone else. This is me articulating to people that they're not alone when they have certain feelings or experiencing certain things. This is me trying to share my experience, and maybe hopefully someone will also see that no matter how horrible things are and what is done to you, once something goes left for you and causes you a certain amount of harm for you, you have to choose to go. The moment you do not choose to go, you are now just as responsible as they are. It doesn't matter why you don't go. It doesn't matter why you participate. You just enter and understand that you are participating. Okay? And the cause of that is still you, right? I hope this is making sense, okay? So this is the purpose for this. This is not my whining over him. It's actually the opposite. This is my ascension through that experience. This is why it's called ascension, dark, divine, fairy tale. There is beauty in darkness. There is chaos in light, and vice versa. It was fairy tale, yes, he and I were a fairy tale, but so is life, right? It's all encompassing, you know? All right. So this is how I really hope, and I came up with this today. I work in autism at a clinic. I am a training assistant to BCBA, okay? I got to finish my schooling, and I got lucky with some stuff, and which is why I finally am able to start rebuilding back over here in the metro Atlanta area. And it's a lot of work. I'm living in two places right now, y'all. It's exhausting, and I'm scared, and I cry quite a bit, but I'm doing it, okay? All right, so I was coming back to where I'm crashing, and I had this thought, and I said, oh my God, this is the best way you've come up with to illustrate this, okay? I'm going to stop the video, and I'm going to restart it, because I'm going to try to get through that, and then be done, because I am so tired, you guys, okay? All right, I'll be back. Okay. So, when people can't illustrate or don't have the wherewithal to articulate what they're feeling, or if out of fear they can't or won't allow themselves to. And I'm talking again, subconscious, okay? They act out in a behavior. Now, understand that we are always behaving, not just people with autism, not people who, excuse me, guys. I had a cookie. Um, not that I need it. Oof. Not that, not people who are doing anything bad. Okay, I'm having a behavior right now. You're having a behavior watching me. Behavior is just what you're doing. If you're sleeping, you're behaving, but you're sleeping. That's your behavior. If you're on the phone, if you're driving your car, if you're screwing, if you're dancing, if you're doing the dishes, if you're just doing this, you're behaving. Okay? So, and all behaviors have an SD in front of it, right? Basically, it's they're called discriminatory stimulants, right? It's the antecedent, right? Okay. We all have antecedents. I just jumped. Why? Because I don't know what them people doing out there. So I looked. What was the SD? What was the antecedent? There was a boom sound, like a door shut sound, right? Okay. So what happens before you have a behavior, right? Okay. So I said that to illustrate that we're always behaving, right? So now you have someone who can't, who doesn't do life well, right? And people who are abusive and they're abusive, habitual, people who are very promiscuous, people who can't maintain relationships, people who self sabotage, all the things, right? We're mature people here, right? I don't have to get that elementary, I'm hoping. If I do, it's okay. This way you can always go look up everything that I'm saying. I hope you do. Um, so I thought, well, this is the best way I can illustrate my point. My point is, we're all out here behaving, right? Every single one of us. Now, here's the interesting thing. And I was loving to hear a man say this. So I was watching, so that's the point. Stay with me, okay? I was watching Club Shay Shay, and I was watching where he interviewed Nick Cannon. I love me some Nick Cannon. I don't know why, I just do. I've always loved Nick Cannon. And it was just very nice to hear that a black man could say, we're all kids. I feel like every single one of us on this earth are kids, right? And I'm paraphrasing him. Sorry, Nick, if I'm saying it wrong. But, okay, well, there's a divine truth in that. And I can go off on another tangent, but I won't. But we're children because, yes, we're children in the big scheme of the universe, and that is epic. That's an epic point. But we're children because we weren't taught truth. We're children because we weren't given the tools. We all lack the wherewithal to be high functioning human beings. Right? We were given a book. Y'all know what I'm gonna say. Not gonna go down there. And we were taught to beg and plead, and we're not worthy, and we have to suffer, and you're worthless, and you got to beg, please help me, Lord, please, please, please help me, and you're just this nasty thing that was born through this nasty vessel, and you're worthless, and you got to spend your whole life trying to be worthy to something outside of you. So take in all of that, what I'm saying. You have all these things that have happened, and you have all these people running around with misinformation on top of misinformation on top of misinformation. And especially us, right? Now we have money. We're business owners. We have fame. You can get famous standing on a corner doing just anything, right? And we got all of these things, and we're all supposed to be ready, right? And we're all supposed to be at this level because we have all the things that is supposed to make us function a particular way now, because we can make money now, so we're supposed to be happy. And then we get all this other bad information and all this other bad information, and you wonder why we have more mentally ill people than ever. That's one of the reasons. A whole lot of other reasons for that too. Okay? We have more narcissists now than ever. You know, we're just now starting to wake up. Yeah, grinding the line. I'm grinding. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I got this. I got that. I'm like this. I'm like that. My pussy the best. I do this and I do that. And we all do. This is just, it's insanity. And we're all walking around wanting love so bad and don't know how to give or receive it. Don't even know how to give it to ourselves. And no, I'm sorry. It's not the book. Sorry, sugar dumps. Because if that's the case, then everybody in the church would be, there would be wedded bliss everywhere, right? So stop it. Stop. Okay? Knock it off. They're behaving out of frustration. They're behaving out of frustration. I behaved out of frustration. At some point, I did the exact same thing. Maybe for different reason. I was prompted differently. But who cares? Right? We're all responsible. Right? So, for me, what has happened is once I, again, begin to enter and understand and have the ball, I don't have a problem telling people where I'm wrong. That's never been my issue. But if I can tell Devlin and all of his shenanigans, right? I'm sorry, babe. I'm sorry. I made you my captor and then complained that you were holding me captive. That was unfair to you. I made you worse. And to be honest with you, I'm gonna be honest with all of y'all, the two people that'll see this, to his boo now and all the other ones that may come after, I apologize. Because I used to be so worried that, oh my God, I went through all this and they're going to reap the benefits of all of what I done and all of this, and then she just get to have you, and oh my God, it's not fair. I felt like that. But I know what I did. I made him worse. Number one, because the love I have, he's not going to find it again. Not because I'm the bomb and I'm this. No, because I know my purpose for my love, for him and myself and all the other things. He's not going to find that. And number two, I helped make him worse. So I apologize to him and everybody else that will come after. He's told me several times this year alone, I've asked God to forgive me. Forgive me. I'm sorry. I have said I'm sorry. And it's a shame. It's a shame to have all of that ruined. In my part, there was no illness. I didn't do anything. I never lied. I never cheated. I never had anybody in his house. He did the best he could, and he's a good provider. And I treated him like a god, because he is, because we all are. But there are times where you need to, sorry y'all, my light went out. There are times where the God needs to be reminded that his human self is shitty, that he ain't shit. The God needs to be reminded that your divine is in a human body, and you're given a choice, and the choices that you are making as a human, you ain't shit. And I very rarely let him know that and stuck to that, because it was what it was. We had a time in the house. I have asked the divine to raise me out of that place. Don't allow myself to ruin myself or anyone else like that again. I've done that work, and I get up and I do it every day. Right? So I had a behavior in several, as he had behaviors. I just understand now all of that, and I'm just trying to illustrate that with you all, and let everyone know that you gotta, if try it again. This ain't the telling y'all what to do channel, but try it when you feel like you can't go on, like you're hurting so bad, you will do almost anything to stop that hurt. And when you feel so victimized and cheated, which I have, I no longer feel that way anymore, because what I got and continue to get, and what this still continues to unfold for me every day, all day. He can marry 10 women and have 40 babies, and all of them can live in that house down the road. Namaste. You know, I will never do this and that again. I don't know what I'll do. Like I said that before. I don't know. I know where I'm going, and where I'm trying to maintain my frequency and get to a certain frequency, and whoever and whatever aligns with that, that's where I'll be when it's time to do so. You know? So, again, this ain't about not getting over him. This is way bigger than him. I can only thank him, and I want him to get to this place. I've tried to invite him along, but all he can say is, "You crazy." Yeah, I am. Anybody that won't operate in this in the same way that the masses do, I'll take it. You stay with your Bible toting baby. Y'all do all of the things. Become a deacon. I'll be crazy. But I made him special because I saw the God in him. He chose to act like the devil, part of the divine. And I did a disservice with treating him as if he was in an ascended place when he was not. That's my bad. The onus is on me. So I hope this helps illustrate what I'm doing here, and what I'm trying to show you all, and articulate to you all, is we are all responsible. When you're a child or you're elderly and you can't get out of a situation, that's something different. When you're a child and you're elderly, y'all, I am so sorry. My phone just keeps acting up, and I keep having to stop, and I've remade 3 segments of this video 3 different times. I do them in small portions because, again, I try to move in divine time. I don't like each piece to be longer than 6 minutes. Eventually, I'm going to break them down and just post smaller clips. But, so I'm sorry. There's so much that I said in a way I can't repeat. But again, I'm, it, it's not, again, I'm all good. I'm all good. I'm all good, G. I had to understand, enter and overstand my parts. We all, I believe, can benefit from doing that, you know? We're always, when we're able-bodied, of age, we have 2 arms, 2 legs, we can see, we can move, we can jump, we can move out, we can, move away, we can do this, we can reason. Again, we can get out. Is it easier said than done? Yes. Duh. We're not talking about that. We're talking about what is possible, and it is possible. So, again, I hate that I just lost this last video that I just did, but again, it's almost midnight, you guys. I am so exhausted, but it's not about me being over deviling or healed. It's about being into me and wanting to get myself in a place where healing is, other than a cut, is not even in my vocabulary. Okay? And so, yeah, you guys, look up some stuff. Look up what I was saying about behaviors. I don't even know if that's in the other part of the video. But again, if I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry. I don't know what was... that video didn't get saved. And I keep restarting my phone. And anyway, but yes, look up SD. It's called discriminative stimulus. I'm sorry, I'm so sleepy, y'all. I might got something here that'll help. And, or SD. And look up the ABC, which is antecedent, behavior, and consequence. Again, Devlin's behavior was, or antecedent was, I triggered him. I made him see things about, I was a mirror. I made him see things about himself that he didn't like. He had a behavior which was sabotage, abuse, push away, demean, beat me down, all of the things. Because the consequence was he would then feel more power. He would feel powerless, like he even said at a very awkward time, I can't lose my control. He didn't like that what he was feeling for me made him feel powerless. Instead of using that emotion for us to ascend, for him to ascend, then so thus and such we would ascend, right? He used it as to feel powerful in the way that he only had the know-how to do. For me, even I did this. I didn't talk about this in the earlier part of the video, but even with me, I didn't try to sabotage it, but I was so afraid of what I found, of what he and I had found in one another. I was, as much as what I had for him, I felt the fear vibrated farther, wider, higher than our love. And so thus I manifest the chaos too. Right? I can go